Hi there owls, welcome back to JoanMedia, the channel where you can learn about software, automation, technology in general, and marketing. It's a pleasure to have you here again. Thank you very much for watching this video. Welcome back, and today we have another video of TestCafe. I'm pretty glad to be here again. I was in the middle of, university tests and final projects, but right now I'm free and I guess that I can continue creating content for you. And if you are actually enjoying this kind of videos, please subscribe and let me know in the comments below if you like this kind of videos to motivate myself and keep working on that and try to give you or provide you with valuable content. All right, so today I have this interesting topic over here, which is run tests. All right, we have two different ways to actually execute our tests, and basically we have the simple scripts that we have been working with in the last videos. If you remember, in the package.json file that we have in our project, we have different scripts for actually our our demands. However, there is another way to execute your scripts, and it is using a test runner and actually passing parameters to a configuration file. So today we're gonna cover different ways to execute your scripts using the command line, the scripts, the simple script way that we have been using. However, if you wanna know how to configure in depth a configuration file and actually use it in your project, please let me know in the comments, and I will be more than glad to actually try to implement the same thing, or actually the same things that I'm gonna do in this video in another video for the configuration file. All right, so let's start working on this. I think that we're gonna keep working on the same project that I have created before, and inside of the tests folder that I have here, I'm gonna create a kind of a new folder, all right, and it's gonna be named runner. And inside of runner, we're gonna have different sets of fixtures. All right, so the first one is gonna be test.a.js. All right, the another one is gonna be test.b.js. There's gonna be another one, and it is gonna be another file, testc.js, and I'm gonna have another test named testc.js. all right, or actually I'm sorry. Inside of each test, I'm gonna have a kind of similar structure, but I'm gonna try to explain you what is gonna be inside of those tests, because it is gonna help us to understand how to run our tests with different scenarios. Right, so let me try to give you the basic structure that I'm gonna be implementing in our dummy tests. The first one is gonna be a fixture with the name test.a. all right, it is gonna be redirecting to a page, and it is gonna be https://www.google.com. all right, so all my tests are gonna be redirected to that particular page, and this or actually we're gonna set a meta tag in order to filter our tests. Actually I'm not. I'm gonna just keep as simple as possible. I'm gonna try to explain you as soon as the video continues in the way. So I'm gonna create a test, right? It is gonna be named test a.1, all right, and inside of this test I'm gonna call an asynchronous function calling the test controller, and inside of this function I'm gonna just call a console log, right? It is gonna be console log sorry. I'm doing a mess. It's gonna be test a.1, right? It is just gonna print out the name of our test. I don't want to make assertions because that's something that I just did before. If you wanna actually watch that video, you're gonna have that in a pop-up that you're gonna see in this video. So if you wanna cover the assertion class, you can go ahead and watch it. I'm gonna make another test, right? It is gonna be test A, but it is gonna be number 2, right? Okay. And inside of the function, I'm gonna call an asynchronous function t, right? And inside of this, I just have to close this, and now we have 2 different tests inside of the test.a feature, right? So I'm gonna just call another console log test b, right? No, it is actually test a, but the number 2, so it is fine just as it is. I'm gonna just close or actually copy this structure because it is gonna be the same structure for all of the fixtures and tests. It is gonna be a kind of dummy test just to prove you how it works and how we can filter our fixtures and tests. I'm gonna call B here, test B, and now it is done. I'm gonna just copy this and replicate the same stuff in the C and the D tests. Right, now once this is done, I guess that if you remember well how we actually called our last scripts, we're gonna keep using the same kind of way to execute our tests. However, we're gonna make different changes to actually show you how we can run differently our tests. So I'm gonna create a new script. It is gonna be test, and the name is gonna be kind of run by script. And the value is gonna be all right, the value is gonna be the route or the path that we have for our tests, right? So I'm gonna have, or actually follow the same structure. I'm gonna call TestCafe Chrome. This is the browser that I wanna use. I'm gonna actually call the structure or the path where all my tests are actually, right? So it is inside of the tests folder, right? And inside of the test folder we have runner. So I should actually write down runner, runner over here. And if you want to call a single JS file, you just have to actually place or actually write down the name of the test you want to run, right? So if I execute this script, you will see that probably it is gonna just open up and execute the test.js, right? So I'm gonna npm run. Sorry, I'm not sure why it was happening. Npm run test run by script, and probably you will see that it is gonna execute this particular test case. It is probably what is gonna be happening, and I hope so. And as you can probably see in the console log, the test A is the only test that it is gonna be executed. However, you can be capable to run all these tests inside of runner, just in the runner folder, just well, changing the test A word for a single this symbol that I don't know how it is pronounced in English. I think that it is the same name, right? In English it is an asterisk. So with a single asterisk .js, you are actually calling all the sames, or actually all the files inside of the runner folder with a .js kind of file. So if you take a look of this, I'm gonna run the same command. I'm gonna run npm run test run by a script, and it is gonna probably open up all the all the test cases, right? So as you can see here, it's gonna execute the test A. Then once all the tests has passed, for some reason that I don't know and I have discovered now, it is because I wasn't, or actually I didn't save the file. So now let's execute the tests again, and you can see that all the JS files inside of the runner path and this particular path are gonna run and then be executed. So let's take a look at that, and I hope that it works. And as you can see, test A fixture was executed, test B2, test C it was also executed, and at the end the test D was also executed as expected. So this is the first thing that I wanted to show you, the two different ways to execute your scripts. And I also think that it is something to be aware of, something very interesting. It is basically that you can run tests from multiple resources. What what I'm trying to explain is basically that you can run tests from one path, however you can specify another one. So if you want to run, for example, the data-driven example that we did in the last video, so I just have to copy the path and just paste it on the same script that I want to execute. So probably if I run this again, please, let's see that we're gonna have we're gonna execute our runner scripts and also the data-driven scripts, because we are specifying that in the script. So we're having two different paths, and this particular script is gonna be actually looking for both paths as we want. So as you can see here, the runner scripts were executed, and also the data-driven scripts were executed too. So that's something very interesting, right? I think that that's something that we have to have in mind. I'm gonna just delete this. I just wanna keep working with the runner scripts, and now I'm gonna try to well, actually filter our tests and fixtures by name. I'm gonna try to give you actually two very quick examples about how this works. I'm gonna try to look for all the tests inside this particular path, right, with the name, or yes, the name with test that word. And I'm gonna try to kind of give you the context, just writing down the command, because it's something very hard to explain. I'm gonna just place -t, all right, and I'm gonna inside of or actually without quotes, because I don't need it. I'm gonna try to look for all the tests, all right, that are named test A dot, and we're gonna look for, with the asterisk again, all the tests with this word at the beginning of it. So it is gonna look inside of the test runner path, right, and it is gonna look for all the tests that completes or actually match this pattern, all right, this test A dot and asterisk. And if you take a look of this, it is the same structure that I have here, test A dot, and it is gonna look for 1, 2, and all the tests that finds and actually match this pattern are gonna be executed. So I'm gonna try to run this again and try to see if it works as I'm expecting, because probably it won't. But I'll try. Let's see. As you can see, it is loading Google, and probably you can see that the tests with that matches the the pattern are actually being executed. But there is another very interesting feature, because we can look for specific tests, but we can also look for specific fixtures by name, all right? So if I want to look for a specific feature, I just have to change T for F, all right? And I just have here to specify the name of the test I want to run. So I'm gonna try to run the test.b, for example. If you remember, I named that in that particular way, test.b. And probably this script is gonna actually look the fixture with this particular name. I think that I made a mistake. I'm gonna cancel this, because the F should have a dash in front of it. So probably I'm just trying to avoid some kind of errors, right? And I'm gonna execute this again. Let's see how it works. And probably we should be alright. As you can see here, the test B fixture was executed because I just specified that in my package.json and in this particular script. So once we have learned how to run or actually execute or filter our tests and fixtures by name, I want to teach you another way to filter our tests and fixtures, all right? And it is gonna be using metadata, all right? It is gonna be something pretty easy, as you are gonna take a look. Let me just give you an example, right? We're gonna create a meta function here, all right? Inside, actually, in the fixture, all right? And let me just open my notes to try to have a kind of a guide, all right? And inside of the meta, I'm gonna we can actually specify different keys and values, all right? In this particular case, I'm gonna create a meta with the key regression, all right? And I'm gonna specify another value with the well, the structure or the name mobile, for example. I'm not sure, I'm just trying to give you a quick example. And we can have this meta, the same meta for the test or the fixture B, all right? However, for fixture C, I want to this regression meta be changed to desktop, all right? All right, and test D is gonna be another fixture with the meta regression, but with desktop, all right? Just to show you how it works. We have two different metadata. So if I want to run this based on the metadata that the fixture has, all right, the way that we can achieve that is using this particular command. Let me just try to give you the example. I'm gonna delete the last thing that we have seen, and I'm actually gonna use another command. Basically, the command is double dash fixture and dash meta. If I'm not wrong, I hope that I'm doing this fine. And then the thing that I have to do is basically run or actually filter this by the meta that I have specified in my tests. So if you remember, I probably or I actually have defined regression as the key, and the values are the values or actually the data that is changing. All right, so I'm gonna call the key over here, and I'm gonna specify the value that I want to look for. So it is gonna be, for example, mobile. And if I'm not wrong, I hope that I'm not. If I execute this, I'll probably execute the fixtures that match the regression or the metadata with well, mobile as a meta, right? So if you remember right, I have defined a test A fixture and test B fixure as a regression mobile, and test C and test D wasn't executed because obviously the regression metadata was differently. So that's something very interesting, right? That's another way to filter your fixtures if you want to have a workaround. So there is another way to run your tests or actually filter your tests depending on your needs. So I'm gonna try to give you a quick example too about how to well accomplish this, and that's basically all right. I'm gonna try to explain you this. I'm gonna create another dummy scenario. I'm gonna call, or actually I'm gonna declare a meta in a particular test. So I'm gonna have the same structure. I'm gonna declare a key as environment or env, and I'm gonna have another parameter, or in this particular case a value, name production, right? However, the second test case, or the test script that I have here, it is not gonna be the same, or it is not gonna have the same test meta, right? So, or the same meta, I'm sorry. And it is gonna be, or it is actually gonna be testing, for example. And as you can probably see, I'm gonna try to apply this logic for every single test that I have in my example, right? I'm gonna just write down this over here, right? And in the second test case or test script, I want this to be testing instead of production. Test B. I'm gonna just follow the same structure in every single test example that I have down here. Testing and right, production and testing. So if you are wondering how we're gonna actually get, or how we're gonna call this in the package.json, or I hope that you're actually wondering that. So we're gonna change something very quick and easy to understand, and it is gonna be let me just take a look of my notes, because I probably missed that, but it is the same thing, if I'm not wrong. It is gonna be, instead of the feature meta, I'm gonna change this for test meta, right? And obviously we're gonna have to change the key and the value that we want to filter, right? So in this particular case, I want to specify the environment, for example, and we can specify this to be for example production, and probably all our tests, or the first test that we have in all the features, should be executed, right? Because if you remember, I have specified that the number one test is pointing to production, right, over here, and the test C have the same logic, test D has the same logic. However, all the second tests have the environment testing, or actually pointing to the testing key. So I'm gonna try to see if this works. I'm gonna run this, and if it is if it is actually working as I'm expecting, we should be capable to be watching this behavior, just running the first test of each feature. Let's see if it is as I'm expecting. And I think so, right? As you can see here, we have executed all the tests, or the number one test in the feature, because that's the that's the condition, right? That the test meta is actually production. If I change this for testing, you are gonna see that probably it runs as expected too. I hope so. Let's see. As you can see too here in this example, we have executed all the second tests inside of each feature, because that's the condition that we are actually trying to compare, right? The test meta. So I think that I have some other things in this particular video that I wanted to see, and I think that we're gonna implement those other implementation or other tips and tricks that I wanted to show you. All right, we're gonna just forget the things that we are actually saying until now, and we're gonna take a look of a different feature that TestCafe has. So for example, if we're currently actually executing our tests using just Google Chrome, right? However, if we want to, we can run multiple browsers at the same moment. So just using a comma and specifying the web browser that we want to execute, we're gonna be capable to actually launch both web browsers and execute our test scripts. So I'm gonna try to give you a quick example and show you how this actually works. So as you can see here, I have an instance of Firefox, all right, behind this Google this Google web browser over here that I have launched. So that's it. As you can see, all the features and the test cases are actually being executed in both web browsers at the same moment. So as you can see, it is working as expected, and they were executed very well. So that's good, right? However, that's another feature that I wanted to show you. And we can use, for example, if we want to, it is a possibility. I just wanted to show you that. And it is just calling the word all. So all the web browsers that you have installed in your operating system are gonna be executed at the same time. So it is gonna be a mess, but I wanted to show you that. Let me just execute this command. And as you can see here, I have an instance of Edge, I have an instance of Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and probably Google Chrome that you're not watching right now. If you are, I'm not sure. I think that it was executed in another window. So please take a look at this. All the features and test cases or test scripts are being executed at the same time with all the web browsers you have installed in your operating system. It is amazing, right? That's another feature that I wanted to show you because, well, it's something to have in mind. That's good, right? I just want to let you know that probably in the future I want to integrate a browser stack with our computer and actually our framework to give you an example of how it works. But well, I just wanted to show you that you can specify or target web browser depending on your needs. There is another interesting thing that I wanted to show you, and it is concurrency. All right, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna see if I can run tests concurrently, and let's quickly take a read, or actually read this specification over here. Run tests concurrently. All right, to save time spent on testing, TestCafe allows you to execute tests concurrently. In concurrent mode, TestCafe invokes multiple instances of each browser. All right, these instances constitute the pool of browsers against which tests run concurrently. And for example, each tests run in the first available instance. So that's a very interesting feature, right? Because we're gonna have a pool of web browser, and as soon as an instance is available, we're gonna be capable to run our test in that particular instance that is particularly free, and you can go ahead and use it. Or actually, TestCafe is gonna go ahead and use it because it is free. So how we can use this in our test? So basically, we just have to we're gonna change all for Chrome because I don't want to have a lot of instances of web browser, and I just have to call, or actually write down the keyword -c, and you can specify how many instances or pool of web browsers you want to have available for your tests. So in this particular case, I just want to have two of them, and I'm just gonna save this and execute the command. Let me give you a quick example of how it is actually executed. As you can see, I have two web browsers over here. All right, I'm not sure why I lost them. All right, they are over here running at the same moment, and as you can see, probably the execution is gonna be faster because I had two instances of Google Chrome, and all the test cases were executed in different instances depending on the web browser that was free. So that's something very interesting that you have to have in mind if you want to well, execute your scripts in your real work environment. And just to finish this session, this video, I wanted to give you an introduction for a particular and interesting feature that TestCafe has, which is live mode. All right. And let me give you an example of this. Basically, to introduce you to the live mode, we just have to write down this command, -L. And if I run this, let me just give you this example. I'm gonna run this again. You're gonna be capable, or you're gonna actually see that Google Chrome is gonna be is gonna remain open. All right, because we're gonna be capable to make changes in our tests, actually in our code, and TestCafe is gonna be listening to this kind of changes, right? So as soon as I make a change, all the test suite is gonna be executed again. So I'm gonna give you a quick example of this. For example, I'm gonna change the testd.js and the second test script. I'm gonna just add -demo in the console log, and I just save the file. All right, and as you can see, all the test suite is executed again in this instance of the web browser. And once it has done, probably we should be capable to see the test demo console log that I just wanted to display, just to make sure and show you this particular feature that I consider is very interesting and something to be to actually pay attention, right? Because if it is something that I think and I consider that can help us to develop our scripts and, well, actually try to debug them if it is possible in this at the same time. So thank you very much for watching the video. I hope that you are enjoying or actually you enjoyed this video. So I really think if you subscribe to this channel, it's gonna be a very helpful well, actually interaction, because it is gonna motivate me to, well, keep working on this kind of videos and bring you more content like that. So thank you very much for watching the video. This was JoanMedia, and see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye bye.